All right, something a bit different this week. Back to some push bike content, and what I've got here is my friend Will's airdrop edit enduro frame, which is currently in like a moss green. And he's asked me to do something a little bit different on it. So first of all, what I'm going to do, strip the frame down. So obviously take off all the cable guides, take the shock out, maybe even take the bearings out, see how we're going to go. Just tap the headset cups out, get it to a raw frame, strip off all the paint, get it to like a bare metal, and then yeah, see how shiny we can get the frame. So yeah, probably going to do most of this in a time lapse just to make it a little bit quicker. Obviously there is quite a lot of labor involved to try and get the frame shiny. It's probably going to be a bit of a pain to get some of the paint out of all the nooks and crannies, but yeah, definitely a job that it appears only I have the patience for. So yeah, if you're interested in this sort of thing, then watch to the end. But yeah, I'm sure it'll turn out all right. And I think Will's going to get some clips of maybe building the bike back up, a bit of a bike check, something like that. So yeah, first of all, I'm just going to strip the frame down and then we'll go from there. Okay, so that's the frame all apart now. So yeah, pulled the linkage out, so that's all done. Been able just to leave the bearings in there. One thing that I do is just leave the bolts with the washers and just wrap like a cable tie around the thread just so you don't lose that, and then that means that that piece there is just good to go back on the frame when it's all together. Obviously the shock's out, frame's all apart. One thing I did decide to do is I've just tapped the bearings out, so just cartridge bearings. You can either use like a vise and just sort of press them out with a drift, or if you've got like a block of wood and a punch, just push those out. Just make sure they're going out square, not at an angle, so they don't damage the race on the inside of the frame. So all I need to do now is just apply a little bit of heat just to get this chainstay protector off. That's obviously glued on there. As Will's mentioned, he's got a new one of those, or I'll get a new one of those. And then also the head tube badge, that's just going to be glued on as well. So just a little bit of heat with like the hairdryer or something just to pull that off. Give it a bit of a clean just with some soapy water just to get all this mud off, just so we've got a nice clean base, and then we'll start stripping the paint off. Okay, so I've got the frame all ready to go. Removed the head badge and the decal on the top tube. Cleaned it all off, so got rid of all the dirt, so it's a pretty clean surface now. Some of the paint has already chipped off, so I'm kind of hoping that it's relatively easy for this paint to come off. So I've just added a little bit of cord and I've put a hook up here for the frame, so that's just going to make it a little bit easier to apply the paint stripper. And then I've got the individual parts here, and what I'm going to do is lay out some cling film, apply the paint stripper, and then wrap up the parts just to stop the paint stripper drying out, and it might just be a bit of a cleaner process and easier to handle. Windows open just for a bit of ventilation, and yeah, we'll start applying the paint stripper now. Alright, so I'm just about sort of getting somewhere now. The frame's basically raw. There's a couple more bits just around here just to strip off now. So as you can see, it's been quite a challenge really. This paint has been a bit tougher than I thought. I've changed from this sort of Panther, maybe more DIY paint stripper, to a product called Rust-Oleum, which is definitely working a lot better, and actually it works within sort of 10 minutes rather than having to wrap it up. So yeah, I've just been applying that and scraping it off. So just a few more areas around that bottom bracket I'm just gonna hit now, and then we'll probably be moving on to the first stage of polishing. Okay, so that's the frame, the chain stays and seat stays basically now raw, minus a couple of stubborn bits that proving a bit difficult to get off. So the next step really is just to hit them with the angle grinder with a fiber pad, just to get off all the rest of the sort of paint. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, so this frame is now finally all prepped up and ready to go onto the machine polisher. So it's taken absolutely ages to get all of the paint off of this frame and out of all of these sort of gaps in here. So it's completely free of any of the green paint that was once on here. So that includes on the inside of here. Obviously the bearings are out. All in here is now raw. So pretty much that is, yeah, all of the green paint gone, and a combination of like a polishing, buffing wheel on the angle grinder, some wet and dry sandpaper, and then some ultra fine wire wool, essentially, just to get this frame all prepped up and ready to buff up and hopefully have like a mirror finish. So yeah, that's about it. I'm just gonna probably set up the tripod now and yeah, get this frame buffed up and ready to reassemble. First piece. I don't know if that's that clear. I can see myself. All right. Okay, so the frame's all polished up now and ready to go back together. And I have actually done the bearings in the frame for him, so that's going to save a job and it can all go back together. So new bearings in this link, new bearings in the seat stays and in the chain stays as well. So yeah, it's come out pretty well. I've polished it up and then actually put like a protective polish on it as well, so hopefully that'll keep it all nice and shiny. Cleaned up all these parts, I cleaned up the shock, clean up the hardware as well. So I'll probably put the camera on a tripod now and just put it on a time lapse and get this frame all bolted up back together. Okay, so I've literally just finished getting this frame back together, so getting the linkage back in with all its new frame bearings, and as you can see, it's all now polished up and shiny. Pretty happy with how it's come out, but yeah, it's been a pretty big job, to say the least, just getting all the paint off to start with, and then obviously getting it nice and shiny. I think if I was ever going to do it again in the future, I'd want to get the paint sort of removed, like chemically dipped or something like that. But yeah, I'm not sure how much you can see there, but chain stays, seat stays, and the front triangle all polished up, and then yeah, as I mentioned before, new bearings in the frame as well. So not sure if Will's going to build this back up, but I'm just going to probably take this down now and just get some bench shots of the frame, just before we sort of call it a day. And then yeah, if Will maybe builds it up in the future, I will try and get some clips or something to share with you all. But yeah, hope you like that one. Something a little bit different. Mirror polishing a MTB frame. I'm glad that that's over. But yeah, pretty happy with how it's turned out. So yeah, if you like that one, then please give me a like and subscribe. And obviously, if you want to follow along sort of behind the scenes stuff, then at Saunders Cycles on Instagram. So yeah, cool. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.